Good morning guys, Theodore from Student Paramedics here. Now I'm out and about camping with the family and I thought as I was packing my first aid kits that it'll be a good opportunity to have a chat about what I recommend and I think is particularly important when considering first aid supplies for camping trips. So I've got two first aid kits up here. These are my particular favourites. Go-to camping first aid. I always have this one in my car and I pull this one out from inside. It's sort of like a household / outdoors hybrid kit. For when we go out. Two first aid kits might seem a bit excessive. They do overlap a bit and it's more so for the purpose of this video that I've brought them both out here. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of both and let you know where to get them with a discount so you can make an informed decision when considering purchasing a first aid kit for outdoor adventures. When it comes to camping, I think the essentials for me when looking at any first aid kit are things which are going to cater for obviously the injuries which you may encounter when you're out and about in the wilds. When you're camping, you may be full driving, hiking, encountering creepy crawlers such as snakes and other nasties, spiders. You may be around fires, you may be at risk of burns, you may roll your ankle, hurt your shoulder, all the good stuff. So basically when I'm looking at a kit, I want to make sure that it has equipment to cater to all of these injury types. So I'm looking for things like burn gels, triangular bandages, conforming bandages, so that's good for sprains, shoulder, arm injuries and also ankle injuries to provide a bit of support out there if you've got to walk it out. I'm also looking for things such as trauma supplies, so things like modular trauma bandages, kind of like the emergency bandage, tourniquet, that's always a good plus, and other bleeding control things such as chest seals, gauze. It's good to have saline for irrigation as well. So all of these things, these two kits do supply. First off the bat here, we've got MyMedic's MyFac Mini Pro kit. This one is sold in the United States and not currently available elsewhere. If you want to buy it and you're in Australia or the UK, you have to get international shipping. If you're willing to pay that cost, then it's well worth it. If you're in the US, of course, they have free shipping offers and loads of other deals on. So in my view, this has got everything that an IFAC has, plus a lot more in terms of little knick-knack survival equipment, pieces of cool little modular kits they've got. If you want to see a full rundown of what's in this kit, then make sure you check out my full-length video reviewing this kit. Link will be down below in the caption. But basically, when you unzip it, it opens up sort of like a book with different pages, different modules in there. So we've got bleeding control, we've got burns, hydration. We've even got a little med pack in there with little things like aspirin, paracetamol. I think there's some ibuprofen in there, water purification tablets. There's some zip ties, some ropes, little mini tools, and some airway gear, even NPAs, CPR, face masks, survival blankets. So as I said, I'm not going to go too far into this kit because there's a full-length video I've already done on it. So that's the MyFac Mini Pro. Moving on to MyMedic's Defender first aid kits here. It's a similar sort of design, molly webbing on the front. It's got a detachable Velcro back there. You can attach it to the back of your headrest. Just one little clip like that, and the backing can come off the back of your headrest. So you can easily detach it if you're in the vehicle and you're jumping out of the vehicle. Once we open it up, this one opens in a slightly different manner. But this kit is also sold separately, and if you use it for an IFAC or something else, or even this kit attached to your gear, you can easily drop it down like that and it all opens up and you can access everything that you desire. So first off, up here we have some triangular bandages. There's two of those. It's always good to have spares because they can be used not only just for restraining your arm in a sling, but also for anatomical splinting of, let's say you've broken your humerus, you can anatomically splint your arm across there, or if you've broken your leg, you can anatomically splint it to the other one. Triangular bandages are super useful for that. We've got some saline for wound irrigation here. Got a little small emergency wound dressing here, a little like a pressure applicator pad sort of design. We've got a larger one in there too. We've got some bandages in there. We've got first aid flyer. I'm not going to take that there. It's got a good guide of all the basic fundamentals of first aid. We've got some heavyweight conforming bandages here. There's no snake bandages in this kit, which is a downfall, but if you know your pressure right, if you're sort of accustomed to using snake bandages, you may be able to use this one, but I don't recommend it. I would recommend that you use a snake bandage with a pressure applicator from a reputable manufacturer, so you make sure you're getting the right pressure when you're tensioning to those squares. We've got some small little crate bandages here, first aid notebook. It's good to take notes, especially if you're in a wilderness area. You might be with a casualty for a prolonged period before emergency services arrive. It's really important to make sure you keep a track of notes, of trends rather, of the pattern of injury, location of injury, and any sort of changes in the patient's condition. Got an emergency thermal blanket here, that's very important for being outdoors. Bunch of gauze swabs, non-adherent dressings, even an iPad in there, And of course, really importantly, we've got a nice big Burns gel sachet here, so you can apply that to a burn, protecting it from wind and dust and sand and stuff like that. So that's going to keep some cooling effects happening. We've also got some mini burn gels in here behind some, of course, really important nitrile examination gloves. We've got a few packs of those. We've got a CPR face mask. We've got some tweezers and scissors. We've got some cleansing wipes in there. Medical tape. Another little small burn gel if it's just a little small area that's been burnt. Safety pins, very important. Little knick-knack which you don't realise how important they are until you're missing them. And we've got some cleansing wipes here as well, just to cleanse down areas. Now, as I mentioned for the Defender kit, a downfall is that it doesn't have a snake bandage included. It's the same for the My Medic kit as well. Now, you can get these snake bandages individually and throw them into the kit. You can use Paramedic 10 for 10% off from My Mediclip. My Mediclip also stock full snake and spider bite kits, which are quite comprehensive, and you can get a whole lot of other extra gear in these kits specific for snake and spider bites. So both of these kits come in a MOLLE compatible pouch with a removable backing there for attaching to vehicle or other mounts. Both kits are pretty similar size as well. Now the MyFac range come in a range of sizes. This is the mini, so there's a little of a lot squeezed in. Only a few items of each sort of essential item is in there. There are some cool items which the My Mediclip kit does not have. But when it comes to essentials such as saline for irrigation and even triangular bandages, the My Medic kit does fall short. Another potential con is the inclusion of the rapid tourniquet in the My Medic kits. Now this has fallen into disrepute amongst the EMS community in the United States and does not have Australian TGA approval. But the pros for this kit is that it is very sexy. It's arranged really nicely. It's easy to identify the things that you need in all the different sort of modular color-coded packages. Whereas the My Mediclip kit on the left there is a lot more raw and functional in its utility rather than being a boutique kit. So I think that this is going to come down to utility and price versus getting something that's very sexy and very easy to use, very smooth in its application and quite versatile. So I hope that that bit of information alongside this price comparison here is going to be useful for you in deciding which kit is the right one for you. If you have any recommendations of first aid kits or anything that you carry, what would you add to this kit? I've got a tourniquet and some more bleeding control stuff inside, which I always carry in my vehicle. But this is sort of what I add when I go camping. If you've got any recommendations of what you would add or take away from this setup, please let me know. There's links down below for 10% off each one of these kits. Last but not least, I know what you're thinking. What's this awesome fishing jersey that you got there, Theo? This is from Tax Source. This is their new line of Tax Source outdoors apparel. This is super lightweight, breathable, protects me from the elements and the suns. 10% off. Link in bio too from Tax Source. Shout out to them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.